Hello, my name is Suzanne Bonfiglio, and today I'm going to discuss multicultural interpersonal communications in business relative to the Vietnamese culture. To get a better understanding of some of the differences in American culture and Vietnamese culture, I will define high context and low context communicators and cultures. High context cultures, including Vietnam and other Asian cultures, place value on using language to maintain social harmony. High context people discover meaning from context in which a message is delivered. This means they consider the nonverbal behaviors of the speaker, the history of the relationship, and the social rules that govern the interaction. They use indirect expression of opinions to avoid disagreements and save face. Succinct or brief use of words and use of silence are admired in their communicating style. Formal communication is preferred, which includes showing respect to relational hierarchies and senior members. In contrast, low context cultures, including the United States and Canada, place a high value on using language to express their thoughts, feelings, and ideas directly. Communicators look for meaning in the actual words that are spoken. Self-expression is valued and used widely. Opinions are stated directly and often used to persuade acceptance to one's viewpoint. There is a directness in the content of the message. Low context people elaborate when conversing, and verbal fluency is admired. Low context people are more informal in their communication, and they're more open to having conversation with strangers. Religion and family values in the Vietnamese culture. The Vietnamese culture value their immediate family and extended family. Different generations live in the same household. It's not uncommon for multi-generational groups to live in the same household. A hierarchy of respect is established. The elders and ancestors get a higher ranking and more respect, and all of that is also considered when you look at their age and their status in the group. Masculinity is admired. The man runs the household and makes all of the decisions. Collectivism governs the social behavior in the family. The decisions made are for the good of the group and outweigh the needs of the individuals. Religion is primarily based on Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, and Christianity. Of course, there are other religions being practiced. However, individuals or groups practicing independent religions are subject to government repression. The government sees these people as challenging their authority. Language. Language of Vietnam. The primary language in Vietnam is Vietnamese. There are 107 languages spoken in Vietnam. Succinctness communication that is brief and ambiguous, which is the use of less words, and vagueness, is used to avoid disagreements and to save face. They are high context communicators that use nonverbal behaviors and body language to send and receive message meanings. They refrain from showing public displays of affection, which is also a part of their communicating protocol. Business meetings and etiquette. To establish a valued relationship with a new client from the Vietnamese culture, I'll discuss briefly some points to follow. For that initial meeting, it's usually more of a get to know each other type of meeting. First of all, plan ahead, plan well enough ahead, set appointments, and more importantly, be punctual at the appointments. Dress conservatively. Men wear suits. Ladies wear suits or dresses. Be aware of their hierarchy government. Seniors always enter first. They're always seated first by rank, and they're always served first. Introductions are at the beginning of the meetings. Handshakes are appropriate for greetings and departures, and they're only appropriate between members of the same sex. The only time a handshake is welcome with a woman is if she extends her hand first. Otherwise, you give her a polite bow of the head. Business cards or gifts are always handed to the senior members with two hands. It shows attention to what you're doing. Your own senior team member is to address the senior Vietnamese representative directly when talking about whatever it is you're there to discuss. Silence is used sometimes to save face in disagreements. They have a collectivist decision-making process, so when negotiations are on the table, you have to be patient because sometimes they want to talk. It's a collective decision. They're group discussions before decisions are made, so you must be patient. The Vietnamese have high value on building their relationships. They're not so happy about quick results. It's more about building the long-term relationships. To conclude our discussion of multicultural interpersonal communications in business relative to the Vietnamese culture, you have to understand how to establish this good business relationship. It's wise to have a basic knowledge of their culture and a respect for their beliefs. Set appointments well in advance. Show respect by being punctual and conservatively dressed. Understand that they are a high context people. Body language and nonverbal communication counts. They are collectivist-oriented people in family, in school, and in business. Group discussions or consultations may be needed before decisions are made. Have patience with them. Understand the hierarchy of their culture and protocol in their greetings. Handshakes, same gender only unless the woman extends her hand, or bow your head. In a disagreement or negotiation, give silence a chance to remedy a situation and to save face. Offer a small token or gift at the conclusion of your meeting. And always, always hand it to the senior members with two hands. Remember that the Vietnamese place high value on building their relationships and not the results that they get right away. Be patient. Thank you for watching and listening to my discussion on multicultural interpersonal communications in business relative to the Vietnamese culture. I hope you found it useful.